World, it is a brand new decade, almost a month into this new decade, because I am great at procrastinating. I have been planning on making a video for the new decade for the last like 2 months, and today I decided let's go do it. I was gonna make a nice professional type video with the webcam and all that stuff, but I don't know where my camera is, and I got the computer on, and the camera built in looks like garbage, and I was like, dang, the phone looks better than the laptop computers. And the home office is a mess right now. It is just turned into a storage room, and I will be tackling that probably tomorrow. I've been saying I've been doing that, going to do that for the last 2 years. I'll get into more reasons why that is a mess. But so I'm just hanging out in the garage. I guess this will be called garage life. I have no idea. Got my creepy 80s doll right there. The severed head, bunny. Oddly phallic piece of firewood up there. Bunch of, garage stuff, garbage. Cabinets, speakers that came with the house, whatever. Just waiting for the kids to get off the bus, because maybe it's going to be my first dad life. I don't know. So what's my motivation for doing this? Boredom. Missing the YouTube, making videos. Having a life. Well, really what I got thinking, and honestly I've been wanting to get back into YouTube for a long time. Got a lot of footage and just never edited things together, never got it. So, it's 2020 now, and I was thinking I could not imagine living in 2020. As a kid, like, it seemed like the distant future. Truthfully, I couldn't live. I thought 2003 was way off in the future, so what do I know? But as I say, it's a new decade, and as you get older and stuff, you start reflecting back. I just thought about the decade that just happened, what's going on in life now, and I had this revelation essentially about maybe two months ago, was that this past decade, the teens, the tens, whatever you want to call it, probably the best decade of my life so far, and I didn't even realize it. Obviously, it's, I wasn't even there I was there for most of the 80s. Don't remember a lot of it. As a kid, the 90s were all right. You're a kid going through teenage years. High school kind of sucked. But I will admit, I often feel nostalgic. I've always felt nostalgic for like the late 90s in high school. But you remember the good times, but then the bad times, you just kind of, whitewash or whatever. And the same thing, like I often get nostalgic for like those early 2000 years. I was in my early 20s, and you hang out with friends, all the parties we'd go to, everything we did, all of our adventures. And I got thinking about my adventures I would do. I would go out and just go places, wherever I wanted to do. I got into hobbies. That's what my YouTube channel originally was, way back, was just me, actually more like I posted videos. There's a video sharing site where I would host my videos for writing blogs and stuff, and that was really the only place to put videos. So I would do, I was into collecting like antique and old timey guns and stuff. And back then there was no gun channels, like Forgotten Weapons, CN Arsenal, none of them. Hickok 45 didn't exist. And so I was just kind of making videos, and there were guns that I want to see that I owned and never got to see how they worked or whatever. I was like, well, maybe I'd start making my own. And I got into, I've always liked history. It's like ghost towns. I used to go to ghost towns in here. I had plans to do a lot more of that. Amateur radio. Used to sit up all night, listen to weird stuff. That I miss that. I still have all my equipment. It's packed away. Have not fired the shortwave up in, I think I did, probably about 2013 or 14. I did just for giggles. Just there hasn't, and what I'm sounding like now is that's nostalgia kicking in of how reminiscent and mournful that I don't have that time anymore. But how to explain it? Like back then, when you're in your 20s, you got all the freedom, no wife, no kids, no nothing like that. I didn't have a full time job. If I wanted to go somewhere, I had nothing to tie me down. I could just go out in the woods. I could drive all day. And the funny thing is, back then, no cell phone, no GPS. I would just start driving. Where I went is where I went. No one knew where I was. I could die. No one would know I'd be missing. I'd be, one of those missing people websites, maybe, if anyone cared. I never told anyone where I was going. That's just how I am. That's how I was. That freedom spirit is good. So yeah, all nostalgic. I feel nostalgic about all those like good times, my personal hobbies, my life, the friends. But that first 2000 2010 really was not that good of a time for me. I look back a lot of my writings, some the Facebook memories and stuff. Deep down, while I looked like I had it going on the outside, I was a wreck. I was not in a happy place. My goals that I really wanted to accomplish in life were not happening. They just were not. Hard as I tried, nothing happened. But everything really started changing around 2010, 2010, whatever you want to call it. At the end of that year, because I should back up just a little bit. I was starting to get more depressed. Again, as friends started drifting apart, some got married, some moved away. You just lose touch with old friends. And, well, whatever. And like I said, looking for work. I wanted to get a better job. My career choice was not going where I wanted. I was just kind of miserable. In 2010, I applied as a whim for a company. It's an armored car company, a very famous worldwide one. Didn't think I was going to I had no expect to get a job, just as a whim. And I get a call back. I get the job. Basically, they were opening a branch in my town. Did not know that. Got a job. Was really good at it. I got promoted a couple of times. At one point, I was in charge of the branch. It was a small branch. You only had like a dozen or so employees at most. But at one point, I was in charge. And I really liked that job. I made some good money. It was full-time, obviously. But really, the social life went away almost instantly. I worked a lot. Those are long hours. And had the weekends, and you just start drifting from friends. Like, hey, let's go out and do stuff. And, oh, we're busy. We're working this day. Oh, well, it's my days off. And they're all working, or they don't live here. Or you just haven't talked to them in forever. So then I really, as I was getting closer and closer to turning 30, that's like when I really want to motivate myself and advance my personal, hadn't really gone on a date in a couple of years. So I started dating. Things are going pretty good. I did eventually met, this is why I say, that I think where things really started kicking off, in terms of life getting better, was I met my now wife. And we've got a couple of kids now. We got this house, and it's a great house. Still doing some work on it, but it's everything we need. It costs a lot, and that's why whatever. That's the downside. But it is. But I got my dream. Everything I want. You got a wife, 2 kids, and a house. And that was all within the last decade. So then, but work was pretty much taking up all my time for the most part, and that is, it is what it is. I didn't like what I was becoming, and slowly over time, that job, over about 8 years, it kept getting more and more stressful. I was dealing where I was in terms of management. I describe idiots above me, idiots below me, idiot sandwich, and people not doing their job. And people below me not doing their job, so I got to do their job. People above me not doing their job, I got to do their job. And it was getting frustrated. I got to the point I've been making comments like, oh, I should get, let's see, I should be getting like 5, 6 different paychecks now. And like, oh, well, I'm doing that job. Okay, I'll do that. No, that's an extra paycheck. And of course, no, that doesn't happen. But um, I had a job offer did come up in around 2016. And in some ways, I regret taking it. Well, I had regretted it until recently. Very recently did I regret not taking it, because the way my job was, the good times were really great, and then the bad times were kind of bad, but they were all right. But I didn't realize that the good days were becoming fewer, and the bad days were becoming a lot more regular, and even the good days weren't as good as they used to be. I was just miserable, getting frustrated. We had a leadership change that year at the end of 2016. No, 2017. Middle to end of 2017 had a big leadership change up above, and we had basically some good, the people directly above me, my boss, good boss, was essentially forced out. He, it is what it is. He got forced out, and the replacement boss was not as competent, and I was getting frustrated. And basically, it became a lot more nepotism, or not nepotism, cronyism, I should say, cronyism, where you're friends with somebody. So then, hey, I got your job, and you're qualified. No, man, you're my friend, and that's what was going on in my office. I got stuck with an assistant who was not competent. We didn't have anyone else, truthfully, but because the good employees started leaving, the guy I really wanted to work with left, and so I got stuck with someone who was not good, and and basically he was friends with my boss, and so basically it got to the point where my boss would only talk to him, wouldn't talk to me, but basically circumventing me. I was always out of the loop, and then unless something went wrong, I'd get yelled at, like, well, I didn't know that. No one communicates anything. Communication went down to zero, and it was so frustrating. So I was actively started to look, and this is why sometimes I look back this past decade, well, maybe it wasn't so great. And then especially everything around this time, we had 2 deaths in my family, an uncle, and then my grandfather, 2 people in my family I was the closest to. And it was especially bad because I was getting more and more frustrated that as my family, I lost my friends. I found myself drifting from my family as well, because I moved. I only moved 1 town over. It wasn't that far, but with the wife, the kids, we're always doing stuff with her family and my work. I really missed a lot of family events. I didn't get a chance to do stuff and it got really frustrating. I kept telling him I'm going to like when my uncle died, I'm going to dedicate more time to the family. I tried. And then when my grandpa died, that pretty much just the family just kind of split. They went their own ways, and I don't know. But after that point, I really wanted to dedicate myself to more service again. Like public service, whatever. I started talking law enforcement. Like we have a career military family and stuff. But so I want to do more. I just really want to do more. I started looking, and what I was working a corporate job. It's cool as an adventure. I got to carry a gun, and I'm doing all this awesome stuff. But you feel like a badass. Now you don't feel like a badass. It's you're back breaking. You're just breaking your back all day. So I started talking about law enforcement type stuff, because like I said, one job it was like a federal contract type job I didn't take. Once I applied, I did eventually apply. It was too late. Never got in. I'm glad I didn't. That was probably a good decision. So I started looking into like law enforcement. I'm not a big pro cop guy. I've become more and more libertarian over the years. I was like, no, like conservation. I saw an ad for conservation officers, and I was like, that'd be cool. I want to do that. But I apply. You have to take the civil service test, and they tell you when the test is going to be. So it's like, and it was after the cutoff day for when the applications for this job went. But I was like, I'll take this test anyway. And after that, I started getting, I did really well on the test, and I started getting things from the state police, started contacting me. And I was like, my heart's not in it. Police work doesn't appeal to me. But, so I just kept doing my other job, and to late last year? Well, no. Shoot, it's 2020 now, that's right. So, maybe early last year. Whenever it was, I saw an ad, or a news article on Facebook, who knows what it was, for a particular law enforcement job with the state. Don't want to go into any details, but it's it's not a street cop kind of, not a cop job, but it's probably one of the most important and probably the most hated, maybe it's the most hated departments. I don't know if the job probably is. I don't want to go into too many details, but I knew some people that did the job through my previous work, and I got to thinking, yeah, I could do it. It doesn't seem like that. I didn't think it would be that hard of a job. Some ways it has turned out to be more difficult than I thought, and in some ways it's easier. But so yeah, I get the interview. I was like, I'm not gonna pass this interview. It's good. No, it's not. No way. Well, part of it was that I don't know if it was because I'm that good or I don't or whatever. I get lucky. I think I get lucky because I find out they need like 700 new people. They were hiring. This state was massive hiring, and so it's almost like they're taking everyone. Maybe they're taking everyone who could breathe and could do a physical fitness test and not die. So I do that. I get accepted. I'm like, oh, okay, to the academy, and in some ways the academy was easy. In some ways there were struggle days. But it was a good time. It was good, and I passed. And then I'm working on a job in this job that this could be my career, and I'm really loving it. And the best thing is, in some regards, that now it's second shift. I'm not a fan of that, and I got to work a lot of weekends. But it also means I get days off during the week, and in which I am the only one home. So starting last, when I was eligible to have days to work the weekends, since late last summer, and then every day off during the week was just busting it here, cleaning the garage, cleaning the house, getting everything done, yard work, and all this projects, and it was great. I was like, and I would have actually gone out and done more adventures, my old and hobbies and stuff, but I just had work to do. I was catching up on so much. So yeah, it was great, and that's how it is today. I'm doing this right now because I'm waiting for the kid to get off the bus. Really, I got nothing to do. It's kind of a relaxation day. Just great. They say why I mentioned my office being a mess, my home office, because we had the other baby. We had one kid when we moved in, so he had a room, and then we had another spare bedroom, which was kind of a storage room. And then I had this little, I don't know, it's an alcove or whatever, on top of the stairs. This is a small room. It became my personal office. I have my books, my computer desk, and all that. And it's my little tiny man cave. But when the baby got born, basically that spare room was now the nursery again. And so everything is just dumped in that room. And my little office it looks like a hoarder. But I just need to clean it out and throw away some of the stuff. But I'm going to get that taken care of. But the thing is, I just never had time to do anything because for the little one, this first year of his life, any day off I had, it was, I had to watch him. The wife watched, took care of him through the week. I got him on weekends. And like I said, that first year, you could not put him down. Like he would, you had to hold him. He did not want to be set down. If he fell asleep, you set him down, take a nap. He'd wake up instantly and start screaming. You had to hold him through his whole nap. And it was rough. And like I say, nothing got accomplished in this house. But now he's off to daycare. The oldest one's been in school for a couple years. I got my freedom days, sometimes 2 days of freedom. And right now it's winter time. Nothing I do outside. I don't really want to go on adventures, so I've been really thinking about hobbies. Um, which brings me back and full circle here to YouTube is I want to get back into it a little bit. I've got some ideas for videos, and been part another reason I'm inspired is I've been watching for the most part. That's what I've been doing. Like I don't watch TV anymore. I just seem to watch YouTube videos, which is weird. I don't like that I've become that person, but I'm okay with it, I guess. It started about 4 years ago, or even earlier, really, because we don't have uh, cable TV. We just have like Hulu, Netflix, and I think I have Amazon. And the wife just got the Disney thing because Disney. And so without cable, I just don't watch TV. And I browse things online, and then every so I just found myself watching shows and movies that I've already seen on TV, and I just whatever. Then one day I say, "Hey, YouTube, this that sounds." I don't couldn't even tell you what video. Someone I was looking for something, probably some nerdy Star Trek or Star Wars. Something was in the news. This probably was a time when the Star Wars movies came, like the new ones came out, like a new Star Trek movie or something. And I just watched, oh, that was a cool video, and let's see what else this guy has. And then, oh, you might like this. You get the recommendations. You just down a rabbit hole. Before you know, you spend all day watching YouTube videos about spaceships and whatever. And now I'll watch live streams, and especially now that where I work, I can't have a cell phone. It's like I'll watch a live stream in the morning and some other videos, and then on the way home, I mean, it's like a podcast essentially. But some of the people, you start to build a community, and the people making a living. I'll never make it as a living. I don't want to make. I don't want to become a huge. I don't want to be that person. That's not my thing. I liked it as a hobby, and I miss those days. And I don't know what I want to start making videos on again. Uh, Through my friends and social media, through like Snapchat and Facebook, people have suggested me writing something like my something about my adventures of being a dad, and I can do that. I thought about calling it like dad life or something. Because I've got videos, I take videos all the time on my phone. Sometimes I'd share them to Facebook, or a lot of times just Snapchat. That's just me. But now the kids are getting older. I can ask them, hey, you want that's the thing. I don't like posting videos and stuff for kids. They have no say in it. But if they want, hey, you want to, how do you like this? And they think it's funny. Okay, yeah. Call it dad life. That's just a suggestion people have made. And I've got, like I said, I've got that. I got some other. I've got so many hours of footage. I just need to edit into stuff. Other hobby stuff, anything. But we'll see where it goes. So that's a good rambling on for now. The kid will be home. Who knows what I'll do tonight? But I think that's pretty good for today. See you around.